Wait, this tiny 5-cent coin looks ordinary, but it hides a story most people never notice. And this $0.25. Millions use it every day without knowing its real history and hidden value. Two small coins, two powerful stories. One could surprise you, the other might change how you see money forever. Don't skip, because the last part reveals something collectors never ignore. Video number 1. Imagine holding a small, worn coin between your fingers, its surface scarred by time, its edges softened by decades of travel through countless hands, pockets, and forgotten places, yet hidden in sight. This humble piece of metal is a story far greater than its face value. A story that begins not with money, but with history, power, survival, and the quiet passage of American life. Because this is not just a coin. This is a Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that has silently witnessed wars, economic collapse, political change, technological revolutions, and the daily lives of millions. First introduced in 1938 as a replacement for the Buffalo nickel, chosen to honor Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential founding fathers of the United States, whose vision shaped democracy itself. And on one side of this coin, you see Jefferson's profile, calm, yet determined, facing left, symbolizing intellect, leadership, and independence, while on the reverse stands Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, a building that represents knowledge, architecture, and the American dream. And when this coin was first struck, the world was standing on the edge of global conflict, with World War II looming just ahead. And as history unfolded, this very coin adapted with it. Because between 1942 and 1945, nickel metal was urgently needed for the war effort, forcing the U.S. Mint to change the coin's composition, creating what collectors now call the famous war nickels, made with silver, a detail so small yet so powerful that today those coins are hunted by collectors across the globe. And even after the war, the Jefferson nickel continued its quiet journey through American society, passing from factories to diners, gas stations, to grocery stores, pockets of soldiers, workers, students, and families, surviving recessions, inflation, and modernization, while its design remained mostly unchanged for decades, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. And the very coin you are looking at now, with its worn details and aged surface, tells a story not of perfection, but of endurance, because wear does not reduce its historical value, it increases its narrative. Each scratch hinting at a moment lost in time. Perhaps it paid for a newspaper announcing historic news, or a bus ride taken by someone chasing a better future, or food during hard economic times. And while millions of Jefferson nickels were produced, only a tiny fraction carry special characteristics that transform them from ordinary change into rare treasures, such as slow mintage years, mint errors, double dyes, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. And these rare variations can push a simple 5-cent coin into the realm of thousands, tens of thousands, or even millions of dollars at auction, especially when preserved in exceptional condition. And this is where the mystery deepens, because many people unknowingly spend these coins every day, after people casually spend this coin every day without a second thought. What many don't realize is that the 1979 5-cent coin quietly carries decades of history, design evolution, and hidden value behind its worn surface. This coin belongs to a long-running series that traces its roots back to the late 1930s, when its iconic portrait was introduced to replace an earlier design, marking a new era in coin artistry and national symbolism. By 1979, the 5-cent coin had already become one of the most familiar objects in daily life, passing through countless hands, pockets, and cash registers. Yet, its importance was never just about buying power. The metal composition itself reflects a period of economic balance, created to remain durable, affordable, and practical during years of inflation and change. The portrait on the front represents stability and continuity, unchanged for decades, while the building on the reverse stands as a symbol of endurance, knowledge, and legacy, reminding us that even the smallest denomination can carry monumental meaning. Over time, millions of these coins were produced, but subtle differences in condition, strike quality, and preservation quietly separated ordinary examples from those that collectors would later search for. Scratches, toning, and circulation marks tell a silent story of movement and use, while well-preserved pieces hint at forgotten rolls, drawers, and collections left untouched for years. As newer designs and materials entered circulation in later decades, coins like this became a snapshot of a specific moment in monetary history, frozen between tradition and modernization. What once seemed like spare change slowly transformed into a historical artifact studied, graded, and valued, not for what it could buy, but for what it represents. The 1979 5-cent coin reminds us that everyday objects can outlive their original purpose, gaining significance with time, curiosity, and perspective, proving that history isn't always found in museums or textbooks. Sometimes it's hiding quietly in the palm of your hand. The 1979 5-cent coin quietly transitioned from a simple tool of daily commerce into a piece of overlooked heritage, shaped by the economic and cultural shifts of its era. During this period, the coins circulated at a time when physical money still dominated everyday transactions, long before digital payments and contactless systems changed how people interacted with currency. Each example that survived circulation carried visible evidence of its journey, revealing how frequently it was exchanged, stored, and relied upon in ordinary life. Unlike higher denominations that were often saved or handled carefully, this coin was meant to work hard, enduring constant use without ceremony. Its durability reflected careful engineering, balancing strength with affordability, ensuring it could remain in circulation for decades without losing structural integrity. Meanwhile, collectors slowly began paying attention to subtle details: mint marks, strike sharpness, edge, wear, and surface tone, unnoticed by the public but critical in numismatic evaluation. Coins pulled early from circulation preserved sharper lines and deeper relief, while those that traveled widely developed smoother features that told a different kind of story, one of movement and utility. Over the years, changes in minting technology, economic pressures, and design experimentation gradually set later issues apart, making earlier examples, like the 1979 piece, a reference point for comparison. As inflation reduced the practical power of small denominations, the symbolic value of the coin grew stronger, representing an era when even modest currency played a meaningful role in daily transactions. In private collections, inherited boxers, and forgotten jars, these coins waited silently, their significance increasing not because they became rare overnight, but because time reshaped how they were seen. What was once ordinary became historical, not through sudden discovery, but through gradual distance from the world that created it. The 1979 5-cent coin stands as evidence that history does not announce itself loudly. Instead, it accumulates quietly, layer by layer, through use, survival, and memory. Long after its original purchasing power faded, its true value emerged in the form of context, continuity, and connection to a past that still resonates through the smallest details of everyday life. Before you scroll away, take a closer look at this coin. It was never meant to be special, yet time quietly turned it into history. Video number 2. Stop scrolling, because what you're about to see is not just a coin. It's a frozen moment of American history resting quietly in the palm of your hand. This is the 2008 Alaska $quarter, part of the United States 50-state quarters program. And at first glance, it may look like an ordinary 25-cent coin. But look closer, and you'll discover a powerful story carved into metal. On one side, we see George Washington, a symbol of leadership and freedom, with the words, "Liberty and in God we trust," reminding us of the values this nation was built on. And on the reverse side stands the mighty Alaskan grizzly bear, catching a salmon in rushing waters beneath towering mountains, with the words, "The great land a design that represents Alaska's wild beauty, strength, and untamed spirit. Released in 2008, this coin honors America's largest state, a land of glaciers, forests, wildlife, and endless horizons. But beyond its artwork, this quarter carries something even deeper: value hidden in condition, mint marks, and rare errors. Because while millions were minted, only a small percentage survive today in high-grade, uncirculated, or proof condition. And those are the coins collectors fight over. Some Alaska quarters with strong strikes, clean surfaces, and where can sell for many times their face value. And error versions with doubling, off-center strikes for planchette mistakes can reach even higher prices. Most people spend these without a second thought. They drop them into vending machines, toss them into drawers, or lose them between couch cushions, never realizing they might be holding a collectible piece worth far more than 25 cents. This is why coin collectors always say, every coin tells a story, and every pocket change could hide a treasure. This Alaska quarter is more than currency. It's a miniature artwork, a history lesson, and a reminder that value isn't always obvious at first glance. Sometimes it waits quietly, patiently, until someone takes the time to look closer, to study the details, to understand mint marks like PD or S, to check edges, surfaces, and shine. Because condition is king in the coin world. A scratched and worn coin may stay worth face value, but a pristine one can open doors to surprising prices, and that's what makes coin hunting so exciting. The mystery, the possibility, the thrill of discovery. Imagine finding one of these in your change and realizing you just uncovered a hidden collectible. Imagine building a collection one coin at a time, learning the stories behind each design, each year, each state. From Alaska's icy rivers to Washington's historic legacy, this single quarter connects nature, history, art, and money into one small circle of metal. And that's why you should never rush past your coins. Never underestimate what looks ordinary, because sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest stories. So next time you see a quarter, don't just spend it. Examine it. Feel its weight. Look at its shine. Check the year. Study the design. Because this 2008 Alaska quarter dollar is proof that even everyday money can become something special, something collectible, something meaningful, and maybe even something valuable. And if you enjoyed this hidden story of a simple coin, remember this: treasures don't always come in chests. Sometimes they come in your pocket, waiting for you to notice. So follow 4 more rare coin stories. Secret values. We begin to understand that this coin is not just about a bear and a fish. It represents survival, balance, and the raw power of nature. Alaska joined the United States in 1959, becoming the 49th state. And this very year is proudly engraved above the grizzly on the coin, marking the moment Alaska officially became part of the nation. A land once purchased from Russia in 1867 for just $7.2 million. A deal many mocked at the time, calling it Seward's folly. Yet today, Alaska stands as one of America's most resource-rich and strategically important states, filled with oil, gas, gold, wildlife, and breathtaking landscapes. And this quarter quietly carries that entire journey within its small circular frame. From icy tundras to deep rivers, from native Alaskan heritage to modern American history, every detail on this coin was carefully chosen. The grizzly symbolizes strength and independence. The salmon represents life and abundance. And the flowing water reflects Alaska's countless rivers and glaciers. While collectors around the world admire not only the design, but also the story behind it. Searching for high-grade examples, struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, hunting for proof versions with mirror-like fields, and scanning for rare mint errors that turn ordinary quarters into extraordinary finds. Because in numismatics, rarity plus condition equals value. And that's where this coin becomes exciting. Some collectors pay premium prices for Alaska quarters graded MS67 or higher, sealed in professional slabs, protected for generations, while error coins with doubled dies or misaligned strikes can bring surprising amounts at auctions. And yet millions of these quarters still circulate quietly, passing from hand to hand, unnoticed, unloved, unexamined, waiting for someone curious enough to pause and look closer. This is what makes coin collecting magical. The idea that history travels through our daily lives, disguised as spare change, that art hides in our wallets, that opportunity slips through vending machines, and that knowledge turns ordinary money into potential treasure. Every scratch tells a story, every shine reveals care, every edge holds clues, and every year connects us to a moment in time. This Alaska quarter connects us to 1959, to icy frontiers, to brave explorers, to indigenous cultures, to wildlife conservation, and to America's expansion across vast lands. It reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry massive meaning, and that patience rewards those who pay attention.